Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Christina from Our Home. I have a really interesting video to share with you today. Well, at least I think it's interesting. I recently came across this vintage manual. It is specifically called Saving Strength in the Household, and it's written by Emily M. Bishop and Martha Van Rensselaer. It is part of the Cornell Reading Course for the Home. It was published in November 1920 as part of the Household Management Series lessons. And the manual says it is State Extension Service in Home Economics, the New York State College of Agriculture, at Cornell University, Ithaca, New York. And I think this is just such an interesting manual. As I said, it's from 1920, and I believe, from what I can tell, this was written as part of a course for women to learn how to manage their homes correctly. The manual itself is quite interesting, and it's not very long, but I did just select some of my favorite passages to share with you today, so let's get into that. A housekeeper was heard to say, "I have so much to do, I don't know what to do first, so I think I will take my nap and get that much off my mind." She was unconsciously a good philosopher, for the nap enabled her to get through her duties without worry or fatigue, actually more tiring than the work itself. One of the first things that many persons need to do is to get rested. Then the mountain of work and worry will melt away into a possibility of accomplishment. There are women who would not be caught napping in the daytime, and who would be afraid to be found sitting in an easy chair in the forenoon. Still, it may be a clear gain of time to indulge in such resting periods, and the couch and the easy chair should be frequently used. Oftentimes, we spend as much energy in useless effort to get things done when we do not feel like doing them, as in the accomplishment of much more when we are fit for it. We are more satisfied with work done in the morning when we are fresh than we are likely to be with that done later in the day when the spirit lags from want of strength. Such relaxation is a good time to use the rocking chair, to close the eyes, relax the jaw, and become possessed with the idea that all's right in the world. Repose settles very gracefully upon a housewife. The other members of the family do not always come home with the spirit of helpfulness and cheerfulness, and when a woman finds it necessary to be the pacifier or the encourager, it will be a time for her to call upon her reserve power of strength. She therefore needs to store up energy for the unexpected, because emergencies are always having to be met in the household. If she does not plan for the unusual is likely to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. The wise woman will not fail to take a few minutes for rest several times during even her busiest and most taxing day. Indeed, it is just such a day that she needs to practice the gospel of relaxation. To relax, to let go the nerve, brain, and muscle strain, even for 60 seconds, is a positive gain to the entire system. Complete relaxation and thorough rest are most easily obtained by lying down and unreservedly yielding the support of the body to the couch. Thus, to spend 5 or 10 minutes in the middle of each day would enable many a worn and weary houseworker to accomplish more with less fatigue than is otherwise possible. Rest periods of 15 minutes at intervals during the day are much to be desired in the housekeeper's program, and they should be taken before she has become so weary that 15 minutes does not seem to count. A hard-working professional man was asked how often he rested. He replied, as often as he had 15 minutes to spare. Women do not rest often enough before they are utterly exhausted. Sometimes it seems easier to continue working than to stop, because the first experience in resting are most uncomfortable. One dreads the letdown after utter exhaustion. Moreover, young housekeepers full of life and energy are tempted to work beyond their strength without planning for the reserve necessary for later years. Mental and emotional states are inevitably more or less influenced by bodily condition and activities. A dejected physical attitude tends to develop a dejected mental state. On the other hand, there is nothing more effective for ridding oneself of the blues than to stretch the body to its full height, to breathe deeply, and to express lightness and joyousness in bodily action, to recall some witty saying and laugh over it again, or to sing a bit of a merry song, or to run out to the barn and call the chickens in cheerful tones. When everything seems topsy-turvy and your feelings are correspondingly crisscross, instead of clouding the day with irritability or grieving someone by an angry word or unkind tone, try a simple training remedy. Stand perfectly still for a full minute. Breathe full and deep. Let go the tension in the muscles. Loosen the hard-set jaw. Smooth out the forehead frown. Let go physically, and the mental let go will follow. Nature's bending places are at the hip joints and the knees. When we ignore the hip joints and the knees and put their legitimate work on the back, nature resents our failure to cooperate. She gets even with us by enfeebling the digestion, making the back bowed, old and weak, and the body heavy and set, and by otherwise stealing away our youth and health unawares. A penny saved is a 2 pence earned, in physical as well as commercial life. Many pennies of nervous energy may be saved in a day's work by using the muscles necessary to accomplish any task. For instance, in lifting, many persons use the back and arm muscles when only the latter are needed. In carrying a weight, the body should be easily balanced instead of being tipped backwards from the hips, that the lower back muscles may not overwork. Make your arms and legs save your back. Every woman facing a big day's work should remember that she has 4 sturdy servants to do her bidding. She should direct them to render their rightful service, namely, to lift, to carry, to scrub, to walk, to wash, to stoop, to mount stairs, to sweep, to reach, to write, to sew. She should command them to save in every way possible the smaller, more essential tasks and delicate muscles of the trunk from labor unfitted for them. It is easy after a day of fatigue to find it difficult to harness the team and drive out to social affairs. But just because such a tendency is becoming habitual, one should pull themselves together and go anyhow, whether or not it is easy to do so. Contact with other people, old and young, keeps the spirit young, while the habit of growing into fixed ways of staying at home will invite gray hair, wrinkles, and other indications of years. I hope that you enjoyed those excerpts from Saving Strength in the Household. I know some of the advice might seem a little bit outdated or silly, but I think at the heart of it, it's still good advice. For example, we should make sure that we're using our body and our muscles correctly so that we don't cause strain or injury during our household work. It's also important to take time to rest and to find things that we enjoy doing. I especially love the advice at the end about making sure we still go out and socialize with people of all different ages and stages in life. Thank you so much for listening to this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments. I'm hoping to make this a regular series, reading out vintage publications and excerpts. I think it's really interesting and just a fun look into the history of household work in general. Again, thank you so much for being here. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing. I hope that you have a great rest of your day.